Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So, for today's reading, I am asking the question, what are you missing that you can give to yourself? The premise of this is the fact that you are abundance itself. And if there's something you feel like you are lacking or missing in your life, there is absolutely a way to attain it within your own being first and foremost. So the fulfillment of a desire, the satiation of a need, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and just get right into the reading. Today we have little tea roses, and we have 4 groups to choose from, and feel free to pick one or more groups. I have a feeling that one or more will resonate for most of you. Group number 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I will see you in the reading. Hello, my group number 1s. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm asking the question, what is it that you're missing that you can give to yourself? With the idea that you are abundance itself, and any desire that you have or needs that feel unmet can be met first and foremost within your own being, satiated within your own being. And we're just going to dive in and see what your guides, your spirit team, the Lord has to say to you today about this. So you chose group number 1's tea rose. I love that I used roses because roses are about love. And in this case, it's about self-love and realizing that you have everything you need within yourself, and it's within your power to give yourself everything you could possibly desire. Everything your soul and heart could possibly desire. So basically what I'm saying is you don't have to experience a sense of lack. And while I do believe that we can achieve and receive all of the needs and desires that have physical counterparts, we can receive those physical things, whether it be a partner, some possession, money, whatever it may be. But I think first and foremost, everything starts in the soul. That desire starts in the soul. And there is a way to satiate that with this knowing that you are all you'll ever need, and that you are abundance itself. And in doing so also, in tapping into this need being already met within your own being, that's literally what all of the manifestation teachers teach. Like, be grateful as if you already have it. So we're kind of just pulling you into that energy today. So I pulled an overarching theme card from the A Little Rain Oracle, and you got Hemlock. Interesting. Okay, so I'll show you the card just to give you a vibe here. Well, the first thing I think of with hemlock, I'm pretty sure it's a poison. So it's like a poison and a medicine, I believe. But I'm going to actually just go ahead and read the book. Hemlock. Okay. I'm going to open this up here, so if you need to screenshot it and read it later, you can. Hemlock had long been known as a deadly poison, one used throughout history for murders, executions, and suicides. According to Christian mythology, hemlock only became deadly after it started growing on the hillside of Jesus' crucifixion. The blood turned the plant into poison, but even before that, it had a deadly reputation. The Greek philosopher Socrates, after facing backlash for his ideology, was ordered by the court to let go of his work or die, and he chose the latter. He considered his death liberation from worldly affairs and human limitations, and chose death by hemlock, his preferred way to go. There is a lesson to be learned from Socrates' determination to prioritize his life, work, beliefs, and passion above all else. This card poses a genuine question to the viewer. Are you ready to take a stand for your ideology, or are you willing to compromise yourself for the sake of conforming? Although it may be an uncomfortable thought to draw such a stark comparison, The card urges you to look deep inside to evaluate if you stayed true to yourself. Life will throw challenges your way. You'll encounter people who will question and oppose your actions, but you must learn that it's all part of your journey towards growth. Facing opposition can be the best tool to help you evolve and learn more about yourself, so don't be shy. Take a stand for yourself. You're the only one responsible for your life and actions, so live it without fearing judgment from others. If you've been meaning to make a decision that you fear won't go over well with others, take this card as a sign to ignore the doubt. Live your life on your own terms and have conviction while you do it. So the first thing I'm thinking of with that passage is the energy of someone who wishes to make a statement, wishes to make a change, like create a change, wishes to be a force of change in the world, of a force of empowered shifting. So it's like the idea of someone wanting to use their truth and their internal power to alter the world around them and to kind of shake foundations. And there being a fear, whether it's unconscious or conscious, of doing that, of being this force, being someone who creates change and who ruffles feathers just by being themselves. Even though it's this feeling of holding yourself back from being yourself in the world and being like fully yourself out loud in the world for fear of what that means and how that's going to alter things in other people, how other people are going to view you because they may get triggered or they may not like it, or it may make them uncomfortable. There's another sense and feeling of literally when you harness your power to alter reality around you, it's scary because there's a responsibility that comes with that. There's a responsibility that comes with manifestation in general. Because when you're changing things in the physical world, you want to make sure you're aligned with the greatest good and you're not just changing things recklessly or selfishly. So that hesitance to express one's power is really coming through in this hemlock. And again, I kind of mentioned like the idea of, and I don't know if it's a medicine per se, but that was the first thing I thought of when the card first got overturned. The medicine, something that's kind of like snake venom, some things that can be used as medicine and also can be poison. So again, with that responsibility for the changes I'm going to create in this world and going to make, it's like in order to embody our power, we have to take great responsibility in it. And I think when we realize that that's what we're doing and we do take that step to check ourselves, to surrender to God, to surrender to something greater, to surrender to the highest good of all, and let go of our own selfish needs and desires, we can create what we want in this world. So, yeah, there's like a detachment from how things come to be, a following of a vision on your heart, and a trusting that you are acting on good intention and just a grace for your own humanity and for any missteps you may make along the way. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Sacred Destiny, see what else comes through. It's kind of giving, with the prompt being, what are you missing that you can give to yourself? It's kind of interesting because it's almost more of like, what is the world missing that you can give to the world? And what you're missing might be this desire to change the world in a positive way. Not being met, you not being able to live up to that out of fear for what that means. So there's kind of a twofold energy going on there. Your two Sacred Destiny cards, yeah, going forward. You're being called into your destiny. You're being called into action, and there is great purpose in what you are meant to do in this world. You're going to alter reality in a way. You're like using your gifts and using your voice and using your power to make change in the world. You're called to do that. And I think there's a deep part of you, whether you recognize it or not, that desires that wants to be an agent of change and to make the world better, like leave it better than you found it, kind of thing. And next we have freedom. Okay. And maybe something you want for the world is more like you want people to experience more freedom. So personal sovereignty. Maybe you have this strong belief that every human being should have certain rights and certain freedoms, and there could be a social justice element to this. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Earth Magic and see what else comes through. I feel like so freedom feels like a pinnacle of who you are and a pinnacle of your beliefs. And it feels as though the message here is you are not going to feel truly, truly free unless you're working to free others. You recognize deep in your soul that no one is free until everyone is free. So part of your life's mission is to do everything you can to free others in whatever way that comes through. There are so many different ways. It can be through literally you unlocking freedom in your life in whatever way you desire to unlock freedom in your life, whether that be from mental constructs, from societal expectation, from old patterns and ways of being that don't serve you anymore, or through the manifestation of financial abundance that creates freedom for you, like actual physical freedom, and power to be able to create what you want, build what you want. There's a lot of ways you can create freedom, and the more you unlock it within your own being, the more you can unlock it for the collective. And doing that alone is something you're doing as a gift to the collective. And I think consistently telling yourself that and reminding yourself that when you don't feel like you're doing enough for people around you, know that it must start within you first. We have autumnal equinox with release and wind with activation. So what I'm picking up so far is a deep need for purpose, to live a purpose-driven life, to feel like you matter and this life you're living matters in some way. And how you can give this to yourself is to embrace your power and courageously invoke your power onto the planet. Use your power for good and intend to make change, and don't be surprised when that change happens, and recognize that creating change on this earth sometimes will come with backlash, sometimes will come with resistance from the world around you, and recognizing that that's just a part of the journey that you're called to take on, and that you are protected from negativity along the way, that it won't be, you will not be burdened by the resistance or any backlash. It will never be a burden. It will just be something that feels like you have grace for too. So there's nothing to fear. You can't be hurt or harmed. You can't be like, and there's this feeling of your soul is the most important and the most resilient thing, and your soul can never be touched, especially when you are stepping into the strength of your soul and the power of your soul and living from that space. I mean, that message about Socrates where he would rather die than give up his values. There is a really powerful message here. I I would rather die than live an inauthentic life kind of energy, and not allow my power and my voice to make the change that it wants to and that I'm called to. If I don't rise to this calling, it's almost like that will be a deeply unfulfilling life. So yeah, this reading is much heavier than I thought it would be, but maybe this is, if you're here and you're still here listening to this and it's resonating and it's hitting you and it's waking you up, then good, because you are ready to be activated to be a force of positive change in this world and love in this world. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the tarot now. I'm going to use the Muse Tarot. So what I would ask myself if I were you is, it's almost like this isn't a burdensome job you have to do on this earth. This is something that comes from passion. This is something that you are obsessed with, or you will be obsessed with, something that you can get lost in. Like you're so, it can be an artistic vision. It can be, we mentioned social, like a movement you want to be a part of or you want to create. It's something you're going to feel very excited and lit up and passionate about. I feel like you're going through a process of release right now and shedding old ways of being, like fearful ways of being, or ways of being where you've kept yourself small. And it's all for this reason, for you to be activated into this kind of earth-shattering, power activated kind of energy you're being called into. Okay. So we have the Three of Wands reversed, the Eight of Wands, Ace of Cups, Seven of Wands reversed, Nine of Pentacles, which goes very well with this Freedom card, Eight of Cups, one more, Page of Cups. Okay. I'm definitely really focused on this Seven of Wands reversed in the center here. The way the hemlock is this dark black card, and then the Seven of Wands reversed is dark. It's definitely drawing me in. Seven of Wands is typically about protection. And this is only validating what I was saying about you trying to protect yourself to the extent that you are like squashing your voice. Like you are like quelching a passion inside of you that is just so ready, like is so much wants to be let out and unleashed in a way. And there's so much that's going on in the world around you that you disagree with, and so much you have to say, and it feels like it's gotten to a point where you have belittled your voice, your own voice so much, or there's a feeling of, I don't know that I have the capability or the power to make a difference, so I'm just going to stay quiet and just work on my own internal world and just focus on what's right in front of me and realign with what I know to be true. So that doesn't mean that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we do need to focus more internally and realign with the truth within our own being. There's a unique way that you're meant to express your truth that comes from a place of love and from a place of compassion. but packs just as much of a punch as if you were like screaming or yelling or making a lot of noise. You have a still, small, quiet voice that has the power of like a tornado. Once enacted, once expressed. It can spread like wildfire in its own way. It's like the whisper that's heard around the world. It's subtle and beautiful, yet so powerful and impactful. You don't have to like make a loud ruckus. Like you don't have to be noisy. You don't have to be obnoxious or loud. Like you just literally all you have to do is be aligned with your authentic nature and express yourself from that place slowly, steadily, even quietly sometimes, even softly. As long as you're doing it, as long as you're expressing it, that deep need inside of you to, well, part of it is to be heard. There's a need to be heard. There's a voice inside of you that demands to be heard. And it's like she's tired of being held down. Like she's tired of being kept hidden away, and she's ready to be unleashed. She as in your voice. This Eight of Cups here is making me think of a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, either one. As I am recording this, we are in eclipse season. We just had a full moon lunar eclipse last Thursday. And today's Tuesday. And then in like another week, we have a full moon, or it's like a week and a half, we have a partial solar eclipse happening. So it's been very intense, and the release energy is really powerful, and that's reflecting itself in this reading because we have the Eight of Cups, which is about walking away from what no longer serves, and we have this autumnal equinox release energy, this shedding energy. So if you're processing a lot right now and you're shedding a lot right now, it's because there's a deeper truth inside of you that is ready to emerge and be expressed and be seen. And there's a feeling with the Eight of Wands here that once you're through this shedding process, this emotion, with the Ace of Cups backed by, like the Ace of Cups next to the Eight of Wands, it feels like this emotionally activated, impassioned energy is going to come through for you and launch you forward in a way that feels brand new. With the Nine of Materials or the Nine of Pentacles, and as you can see this woman on this card, this is the vibe, really. If you look at the image on the card, there's this feeling of a new sense of freedom and sovereignty, a new sense of self-expression, a new sense of passion and fresh, positive emotional experiences that make you realize that living your passion doesn't have to feel like a struggle. It doesn't have to be backed by struggle or angst or like you don't always have to be launched forward because you're uncomfortable. You can be launched forward because you're impassioned and in love with something. So whatever you're called to do in the next chapter, it feels as though it's coming from a place of creativity and passion and love and excitement. And whatever you're called to do next, it's going to come from that type of spark, from a place of excitement is the best word. Play, even fun. We've got the Page of Cups here, a lightheartedness, yet a passion. It's there's this feeling that in the past you might have acted from a place of woundedness, or like a place that was more heavy and angsty. Like anything you did to make a difference in the world, or things that you did that were creative, might have come from a heavier place, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a place for that, of course. And a lot of creativity stems from that type of thing. And creativity is very healing in general. Like art is very healing. Just creativity. And of course that can mean so many different things. But taking your pain and your wounding and turning it into creativity, turning it into something, and using that as fuel. It feels like that phase is kind of, it's like ending. Like we're not acting from that place anymore as much. We're more so acting from a place of acting from a healed state, and a place of power, a place of, okay, I've gotten myself to this point now. I've gotten myself to this healed, powerful point, and now I want to help others get to this point. I'm acting from that ascended place. So it just feels better. We're happier, we're more in balance, we're more connected, and we're more fulfilled in general. So I'm curious of what this Three of Wands reversed is. That's interesting. Actually, the first thing that I thought of when I saw it just now, or when I asked the question, was you're no longer going to be operating from a place of what's next and what am I trying to create and manifest in my life, and like trying to get somewhere. You're now operating from a place of being so incredibly grateful with where you're at and feeling completely satiated with where you're at. Like you're not worried about getting to the next thing because you're so happy with where you're at. So, and like that joy and that contentment and that peace and that security that you're existing in, being the grounds for being really truly what activates you to create, to be able to, or not to be able to, but to want to like help others achieve that state and that place as well. So ultimately, with the question being, what are you missing in your life that you can give to yourself? It really feels like healing. If you're in a healing and a releasing, like a shedding process right now, you're doing the right thing. Trust, giving yourself trust in knowing that if you're not there yet, you're almost there, in this place of contentment, happiness, sovereignty, emotional availability, a place of positive emotions, connectedness. I think I said contentment a million times, but contentment. And if you have any worries, and I don't know if this is just me thinking this, but I know sometimes I've had this thing where like, if I'm completely happy and I don't have any problems or things to heal or anything, like how is that going to affect my creativity? There's this message of, it's not. There's going to be so much love and passion and creativity that wants to, even more so than before. So I wouldn't worry about that. That's not a question. I'm going to pull some more tarot from the Floral Tarot and see what else comes through. Okay, we have the Empress, the Moon, the Five of Cups, and the Eight of Cups, again, right next to each other. Wow. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles over here. It's kind of off to the side here, but it's there. I really, like, there's like a very cleansing energy coming through, a healing energy. If there's been a lot of like a very deeply emotional energy, if you've been having ups and downs with your emotions, if you've been having a lot of emotional releases or feelings of even sadness or like mourning, that's a sign that you're going in the right direction. You're releasing what really truly needs to be released. A lot of reckoning with what doesn't work anymore and what needs to be let go of. These are all good signs, and I would say just embrace this process because it's not going to be forever. And the more that you embrace this process of healing and release and cleansing, the more quickly you'll get to the other side of this, which is this Empress state of being, this abundance, this fertility, this connectedness to the earth and to the world around you and to your relationships, like an aliveness. So shed what you need to shed, continue to walk forward, and know that a whole new beginning awaits you. And like the word aliveness again, I want to keep saying it, like aliveness. You're going to feel alive, connected in your body, connected to your emotional state, very like in love with yourself and the world around you and the people around you and nature, in love with life. There's a gratitude and lots of inspiration, lots of wanting to make a difference, wanting to create something that impacts, like wanting to use your power, wanting to use your voice, wanting to make change. A lot of that, and a lot of just hopping on that ride because you enjoy it. All right, I think I'm gonna pull one card from this The Answer is Simple Oracle card, just as a little topper to the reading, and then we will move on to group number 2. One final message for group number 1, please. Okay, you get what? Number 16 and 16 is the number of the Tower card in tarot, and it's actually a funny number to have on this card in particular because this says it's not an emergency. So we discussed you going through this release process, and we didn't get the Death card, but with that release and letting go and mourning energy that was coming through, it could feel very scary, sometimes like death energy. And this is saying, don't worry, all of you will remain intact, and all of your loved ones and everything will remain, like all the good in your life is not being threatened at all with this release and this shedding. You're just shedding away old patternings inside your being that have been holding you back from fully living your life. That's really the main thing. So don't worry, it's not an emergency. just go through the emotional process of this and know that it's temporary and it's necessary, but you're going to be all the better for it on the other end. So, alrighty. I think that's it. I think that's your message, group number 1. Thank you so much for being here. I am honored by your presence. If you'd like to support my channel, you can like, comment, or subscribe. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, I've got a link down below to that. In that Patreon, I offer 2 Pick a Flower readings every month, along with an infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing. You can check out my other YouTube channel. It's called Soul Harken. You can check out my merchandise. It's adorable. Or lastly, you can see if I have any personal readings available. So thank you again so much for being here, and I hope I see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So for today's reading, my prompt is, you are abundance itself. What are you missing in life, and how can you give it to yourself? So my preface for this is that you have everything you need within yourself to satiate any unmet desires, any feelings of lack or scarcity, and that is the energy we are tapping into today. So whatever messages that can help you accomplish that inner feeling of satiation of your needs and desires, that's what I want to tell you today. So you chose group number 2 with the red tea rose. And for your overarching oracle card, I chose a card from the A Little Rain Oracle, and I'm actually going to read the entire entry from the book. So you got corpse flower. Damn, these are kind of dark so far. Group number 1 it was hemlock, and it was talking about how hemlock's a poison. And the message in the book for that was talking about how Socrates decided would rather choose death by hemlock over forfeiting his values and his ideals, his ideology. So, wow. So this is called the corpse flower. I find it super interesting. It has a very long, I guess you would call that like a stamen. I've never heard of a corpse flower, so I'm definitely curious to read what it says in the book. So far, it's making me think more so, like with this stamen thing being here, it's making me think of fertility and power and action. It's almost making me think of more of the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So it's the rebirth after the death energy. So let's see what the book has to say about it. Okay, so corpse flower. Recuperation, pride, and fortitude. I'll actually lift it up. If you want to screenshot this, you can. The corpse flower is known to have the biggest flower in the world. Whoa, really? This eerie plant can grow to a massive size of 10 feet over the course of 150 years. Its gigantic stem, surrounded by a wide span of rusty maroon petals, releases the scent of rotting flesh and moldy cheese, giving the corpse flower its name. Contrary to its name, the corpse flower is not dead. It's a moody species and takes time to grow, sometimes a decade. Moving at its own pace, the flower only blooms for a few hours before closing its petals to repeat the process anew. Unfortunately, deforestation and logging in the tropical rainforests of Indonesia has put the corpse flower on the endangered species list, making it a rare flower to find. Indonesia. Take inspiration from this cautious flower. Use this card as a reminder that slumber is not death, and biding one's time isn't stagnation. You must learn to accept the energy within your body. This flower reminds us that we don't need to spend every waking moment in a hurry to be productive. Sometimes the best thing to do is to slow down and remove yourself from the rat race and go at your own pace. Don't overexert yourself, especially if you feel burned out, and realize there isn't a deadline on life goals. You don't need to compete with others. Everyone is on their own personal journey. Take all the time you need to recharge your energy and return to the playing field when you're ready, not before. The more you look after yourself, the better you can perform. Look back at your achievements, the obstacles you've moved around, and the experiences you've gained. It all accounts for something. Even if it seems impossible, take life one day at a time and you'll learn to see the forest for the trees. Miracles can take decades to bloom, so why rush them? Embrace the slow, steady path and realize that some races are marathons, not sprints. All right. Take your time. Slow and steady. You are not behind. That is the vibe. In fact, when you rush and when you spend your life in the rat race, it's almost taking life away from you in a way, because you're not present and you're always looking for what's next. So with my group 2 so far, there is this feeling of always looking forward to what's next and wanting it's like you're in a pattern of wanting what you can't have. Not that you can't have it, but wanting the next thing, the thing that's not here yet, and not looking around to smell the roses, not looking around to be grateful for what is. Okay, yeah, there's like a pulling down into the present moment energy happening. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the Sacred Destiny Oracle, see what else comes through. the stench of the corpse flower is kind of making me think, like, what could that possibly mean? Because it's basically was saying the corpse flower takes a long time to grow and to bloom, and it can like it said something like it could take 150 years to get to the height that it's meant to get to. And you know, nobody's rushing that flower. The only thing is people are unfortunately deforesting and giving it less chance to basically exist. But maybe there's something deep inside of you that is going to take a lifetime to fully bloom, like a purpose that you hold that's like a seed of who you are and what you're meant to plant on the earth as a human over the course of your life. And when you're constantly rushing and constantly wanting to attain these more minor goals, that are much more minor than the grand scheme, the grand purpose, the seed the one big seed you're meant to plant, like as a human. Not that you have only one thing you're meant to do, but say there is one deeper calling, higher calling that you're meant to achieve. And it literally has to take your entire life to get that, to achieve that. If you knew that, you know, how would you reorient what you're doing and how you're doing it? Instead of putting off the little steps that add up to achieve the bigger purpose, and instead going after these littler purposes here and there constantly, and constantly putting off the bigger purpose things, the things that you know won't amount to anything anytime soon. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's like, if there's something deep inside of you that you know you're meant to do on this planet, but you think, oh, there's nothing I can do about that right now, so for now I'm going to go after these little things that I see that are tangible, like things that can become reality sooner. There's a message here that you are meant to start on the bigger things now, whether, like, no matter what they are. So similarly to group 1, it was talking about purpose and satiating your life's purpose. And but this is something kind of deeper. This is more about looking at that deep part of you, that soulful part of you, that healer element of who you are, and that ancient part of you that wants to help to realign humanity in this earth to this ancient truth and knowledge, which remind me of the Hierophant card. What can you do, whether it be like the tiniest little step forward? Maybe you can even just journal about it. Like, journal about this feeling. Oh, I have this feeling like I'm meant to leave this mark on the world in some way. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this is my feeling. Like, even if that's literally all you can do is journal about it, it's just, there's this feeling of giving it a voice and like tapping into it as like, okay, this is part of my purpose, and I won't feel satiated in this world unless I'm following it, unless I'm paying heed to it and acting for it in a way. Feels very heart-centered, very soul-centered. It's just a very deep purpose of who you are. And it feels ancient. So that's kind of a message that came through right off the bat. Let's see what Sacred Destiny cards want to come through for you. Okay, so we have embracing and healing chaos. As I shuffle the Earth Magic Oracle, well, with healing chaos, you're definitely being called to a slower way. Embracing the day-to-day, embracing the calm, still moments. There's a nervous system calming feeling. Like, I'm imagining someone who does breath work or meditation, yoga, like slower exercises, or just things that calm the nervous system and bring you into the moment and bring you back into your body. Those types of things are what you're being called into, because you're missing the deepest part of you the most wise part of you, it's almost like you've been missing it. And that's something that you won't feel satiated, you won't feel good unless you're connected to that part of you. Oh, we have rainbow with blessings. And shaman, yeah, ancient healing wisdom. You're a healer. You have, and healer can mean so many different things, so don't take that so literally. But the wisdom you hold in your being is very healing. It's like a healing balm for the planet. And you're meant to be more aligned with that and more connected to that on the day-to-day. The power of that, and speak it into the world, no matter how quiet you are when you do speak it. All right, and we'll get right into the tarot, the Muse Tarot. I think with the rainbow blessings, just living a more simple way of life and just like a more humble way of life, it's like awakening to the blessings that have always existed all around you at all times, and finally just like living in that reality, like experiencing that reality. It's been there the whole time, but you were so focused on like rushing or getting somewhere that you didn't realize it. But when you do awaken to it, there might be a moment of, here, this card was reversed out of all of them. For some reason, it was the only one that was reversed in the deck. So I'm going to keep it. King of Pentacles, Muse of Materials. But yeah, there's... it's like there's just a better way to live. Like it's almost like your higher self is telling you there's a better way to exist on this planet. And you have the complete capacity and blessing of the Creator to exist in joy and exist in a state of harmony, bliss, and gratitude. Every day you can find that state. While life will never... it's not perfect. Life on earth isn't perfect, and we have those highs and lows and those heavier emotions and heavier things to process. While death will always exist, you know, it's a part of being human. Inherent in that reality is that the blessings always exist, and there's always something to be grateful for. So yeah, let's see what else we have here. We have the Page of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Hermit, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. And then on the bottom of the deck, kind of peeking its little head in right here, I will keep this one, the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Inspiration. We have 2 pages and 2 knights. With this rushing energy we were talking about, this wanting to get to the next thing constantly, wanting to work on whatever's next, and these little things that you're walking towards. And the Knight of Wands being at the bottom of the deck here. Or yeah, at the bottom of the deck. There's this feeling that there is an inherent part of your soul that wants to live in this Knight of Wands, passionate, fiery, go-getter energy. And there's a place for that. There's a part of you that's literally a part of who you are. And you don't have to live some slow, boring life in order to slow down and be more present. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Once you slow down and are more present and are more rooted in who you are, when you do feel lit up and inspired to do something, you have a much more honed focus on what it is you're doing, why it is you're doing it, and there's more precision in what you're doing, whether that be in creative projects or in the work that you do or in the way you express yourself to the people around you, in the world around you. There's just more purpose and more precision, and you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like it's it makes more sense, and you're not like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. You literally know that every little thing you're doing matters, and you feel it in your soul while you're doing it, and you're lit up and animated to do it because of that. So interesting. Yeah. The energy that was present before, where you're more just rushing and trying to get to the next thing or trying to make something happen, it feels a little bit more vapid. Like it feels a little more empty. Not that it is necessarily empty, and not that you don't enjoy what you're doing or you're not excited to do what you're doing, but it feels like this is more of a current of the soul, and that is more of a current that is inspired by, there's a little bit more of like a lack or a scarcity or a fear element that is driving that in some way. While it still has some soul qualities to it, it has that lack or fear energy as well. And this is just coming from this straight up abundant, powerful voice, like activated voice, and knowing of who oneself is and why you're doing something at all in the first place. There's something more true and more authentic about what you're doing from this place. There's something that it's more groundable, like working from this more rooted place. You realize that what you do in this world, you're able to more effortlessly manifest material abundance in that way. You're more commanding of, like, your voice itself coming from this more rooted, grounded place is more commanding of attention in a healthy way. It's more like it's more able to cut through the bullshit. The truth just speaks more loudly through you. So I think overall, since my question is, what is it that you're missing in life and how can you give it to yourself? It feels as though what you're missing is this impassioned creativity and work and like ability to put work out there in a way that is resonating with the eyes and ears it lands on, and kind of like returning something into, like, you're giving into something, you're giving in to the collective, and then the collective is returning something back. It's like this reciprocal relationship with like your creativity, your voice, and what you're wanting to put out into the world, and then that paying off instantly in a way that feels right and feels balanced and feels holy and feels good and feels effortless. So a lot of this I feel like does have to do with, first of all, it has to do with the people that you're in like communication with in that way. So a lot of people, of course, when you have something you're passionate about and you're creating and you're working towards, there is, I mean, what are we working towards? There's always like a receiver of what you put out. So in whatever way that resonates for you and what it is you do on this earth or for people, or like what it is you're putting out there to be seen or experienced by people, received by people, there is this beautiful reception of it that feels healthy and natural. And then because of that, it's like I just see this like infinity sign. It's like a reciprocal energy that's feeding back into you and then feeding into others. And it's almost more like you are a part of this thing that's bigger than yourself rather than the like producer of the thing. You know, it's not like a one-way street relationship. It's not like I'm creating this thing and someone's taking it in. It's more like I'm a part of this beautiful, harmonious relationship, and I get to just put out these things that I am so inspired to create and put out there. And in return, I'm just receiving love in a way. Like I'm just receiving, like, we have the Six of Wands here, and that's about public recognition. But I think it's more so about people seeing your true nature and witnessing you and honoring you, and you feeling that from a soul level. Like when people can experience who you are and really see you for who you are and see your truth, and then when they resonate with that, you feel that recognition, and that makes you feel seen, and that makes you feel heard, valued, honored. And that's what all human beings should feel. That's something that is innate to who we are. We're meant to feel that way. So I do also think that whatever you're doing is creating financial abundance. So I think a lot of that reciprocal energy that pours into your world from you putting something beautiful and doing your work, and it feels like that's going to grow and feel more natural. With the Hermit card being here, I really do think that the more you can spend time with yourself and the more you can start to explore who you really are and why you're really doing the things you're doing on this earth, the more you can slow down and listen to those subtleties in your voice and in your truth, and then work from that place moving forward, the more all of this will start to feel natural and harmonious. So I'm curious about, I've kind of touched on most of the cards here. What is the Seven of Cups? So the Seven of Cups is typically about confusion, like overwhelm, a lot going on at once. So you're not able to kind of like pinpoint what it's like. If you were making a decision about something and you've got the Seven of Cups present, it's like, this sucks, I have too many options, I don't know what I'm doing. That could be an energy you've been experiencing lately, or maybe you're experiencing now, that is clouding your vision. And if you do feel this confusion energy where you like that, I keep getting that idea of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, that's not for you. You're meant to do things more potently, more powerfully, and from a slower place. I'm going to pull some cards from the Floral Tarot. Like permission to slow down. Permission to slow down and to realize that whatever it is you're working towards, or whatever it is you're trying to create in your life, you're trying to make happen for yourself, you're going to make it happen a lot more quickly if you just slow down. Like you're taking the longer route by doing all these little things that don't mean as much. You want to do more like potent, powerful one-offs instead of like a bunch of little things that don't really stick. Okay, or at least don't do it from that type of energy of like, I'm just gonna scramble. It's like, no, let me like take a couple days to settle in and then work from a place of power. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords, which, geez, pages. This is the third page. Ooh, we have the Ten of Cups. That's awesome. The Eight of Swords reversed, which is good. The Eight of Swords is about feeling trapped and stuck. The Eight of Swords reversed, I would say, is escaping from like a prison of your own making, a way of being that didn't serve you. And there's a feeling of just finally realizing, I don't know, just finally freeing yourself from a very uncomfortable way of being and just existing and feeling like you need to scramble to make shit happen, when really the whole time you could have just done it from a place of pleasure and slowness and connectedness. It's like, give yourself permission to just detach from everything and just be a human and just be present and, like, you know, exist on the earth. And that's it, literally. I feel like you need to surrender. I mean, I don't like to say you, that felt weird to say, like, you need to surrender, but it feels like there is a need to surrender fully and let go of everything, and know that by doing that, you're not really letting go of anything that matters. Four of Cups. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like the cycle we're exiting is this feeling of, so like typically the Four of Cups in the Rider-Waite is a man who is sitting there and he is staring at these three cups in front of him, and he has his arm crossed, and the divine is offering him this big, beautiful cup, and he's not even looking at it. He doesn't want to look at it. He's like, I'm good. I want to focus on these three cups here. So the energy is this, I mean, sorry, I feel like I'm just like nailing this in kind of hard here because it's the same message that keeps coming through. There's a better way. There's a better way. This whole time you could have slowed down and taken the easy route, taken the leisurely route, the one where you get to stop and smell the roses, where you get to feel connected and happy and contented, where you have all the time in the world to nurture your body, nurture your soul, have fun, be free, and still get everything done. And not only that, get more done than what you would have before, because everything you do is just that much more potent and powerful. So we're shifting our entire way of being as far as our work goes. Whatever work to you means, could be art, could be like your vocation, whatever it is. There's just a better way. With the Ten of Cups being here, it is the happiest card, like one of the happiest cards in the deck. It is about complete emotional fulfillment, a happy home life, a happy family life, feeling connected to your community, feeling like all of your needs are met. You don't need anything more, feeling overflowing with gratitude and love and appreciation for what is. And that's where you're meant to be. You're meant to experience that energy in the now. And just remember that is a potential availability for you. And know that, and again, I'm coming back to breath work and yoga and slowing down and calming the nervous system. Like that might be something you have to do, because when you've been stuck in this pattern of rushing for so long, it's kind of hard to, like, yeah, you can mentally say like, okay, that's not good for me, but like your nervous system and your body are still in that patterning. So there might be some like conscious deconditioning that needs to happen in whatever way you feel called to do that. Page of Swords. I think there's just a whole new way of existing in the mind and using the mind and putting the mind, there's a feeling of putting the mind in its rightful place and not letting it have so much power and so much control over the way in which you're living your life. You're more so living from a heart-centered, a soul-centered, and a root-centered place. And the mind, it's in its rightful place, and you can use it as a tool, and you can see it for what it is, and realize that it does not have power over you. I'm going to pull one card. Well, yeah, I think I'm ready. This is going to be kind of the final card. It felt very like abrupt all of a sudden, like, oh, we're already done. So I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. But yeah, I'm going to pull one more card from the Answer is Simple Oracle deck as a final message for group number 2. All right, so you got Clear the Fog. With this, it's reminding me of how we had the 7 of Cups here. And we do, number 13 is the Death card. And we did mention, did we mention the Death card earlier? I thought I mentioned the Death card. Well, I was talking with the corpse, the corpse flower. Anyway, so with Clear the Fog, it just feels like there's, like mentally, we're clearing like the mind clutter and the fog of what we think we should be doing all the time, the rushy energy, the overwhelm. We're clearing that. We're moving forward from a place of soul, of clarity, of power, of potency. And we're not existing in this like kind of like frazzled mind state anymore. Like that's clearing out of the way. And our soul, our heart, and our body are more like, we're more like sentient in a way. We're more experiencing our physical reality in a more connected way, in a more graspable, tangible way. We're more just like in the moment and down on earth and like awakened to the beauty and the miracle that all of this is, and not taking anything for granted anymore. Because I feel like when we live in our mind space so much, we can just lose sight of how amazing it is to be a human on earth. We can lose sight of how beautiful life can be. So yeah, we're moving into just go down, down, down into the body, and let the mind just kind of do what it needs to do to clear and to balance and to heal. But one way or another, you are freeing yourself. You are going to be living a more purposeful and potent life. And I guess we can come back to the prompt, which is, you are abundance itself. What are you missing in life that you can give to yourself? And slowness. I mean, I think there's this desire to have more slowness, more connectedness, more peace and detachment from your goals and from the things you're trying to work towards and create and manifest. The ability to just be a human on this earth and just exist. And how you can give that to yourself is to calm your nervous system and shift your energy and give yourself time to really come to a conclusion internally with what it is you want to do and why you want to do it, and act from that potent, powerful, rooted place, as opposed to existing in that frazzled, throwing spaghetti at the wall, just seeing what happens. Like, you know what's happening because you're present and you are conscious and you're choosing and you're doing it. You know what you're doing and why you're doing it as you do it. That's the difference. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. Group number 2. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to support my channel, you can like, comment, or subscribe. You can also check out my Patreon, where I offer 2 Pick a Flower readings every month, along with an infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing. I also sometimes have personal readings available if you'd like to see if I have any of those. I have another YouTube channel called Soul Harken if you'd like to check that out. I have really cute merchandise. And lastly, you can see if I have any infinite prayer sessions that you feel called to. Down below, links for everything down below. But thank you so much for being here, and I hope I see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to your reading welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So for today's reading, my prompt is, you are abundance itself. What is it that you need? How did I word this? I wrote this down. What are you missing in life that you can give to yourself? So the idea with this is that you have everything you need within your own being to realign and to attain whatever state it is you want to attain. If you want to feel blissful, you have it in you to feel blissful. If you want to live in abundance and see that reflected back to you in the material world, you have it in you to have that experience no matter what is going on in your material world. It is that kind of feeling, and the messages that will come through today will help you to attain that feeling of knowing that you can always satiate yourself. You don't have to experience scarcity or lack. You can always realign and feel a sense of abundance and expansion, or whatever it is you're looking for. So you chose group number 3 with this lovely little tea rose, and I chose an oracle card, an overarching theme oracle card from the A Little Rain Oracle. I'm going to read the entry in the book for these. You got this is sweet. You got the prickly pear. I like that. I'm pretty sure you can eat that. I'm pretty sure you can eat prickly pear. Prickly pear, it's reminding me of Austin. I used to live in Austin, Texas, and I'm pretty sure these were everywhere. I just remember cacti with these flowers growing pretty much everywhere. So the South could be important or significant to you. But yeah, let's go ahead and just read from the book and see what the prickly pear has to say. There could be something about a home for you, because I will say Austin has always felt like, whenever I think of Austin, I think, oh, I want to go back home. Like, it feels like home in a way. And then I was just thinking about the nest outside. There's a nest kind of like perched up on the garage, the lights at the garage. And usually there's a robin that will go in there, but earlier I saw some other two little gray birds kind of scoping out the nest and seeing if they want to take up residence there. So there could be something about you wanting to find a new home or change homes or find a home in general, like just somewhere on earth that feels like home. But yeah, so let's see. Prickly pear. Lots of pea flowers in here. Okay. So I'll put this up here in case you want to screenshot this and read it later. So we've got conviction, endurance, and hope. According to Aztec myth, Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war, killed his older sister. When her son Coppel came for revenge, oh my gosh, let's figure out a way to say this. Huitzilopochtli, there we go, tore out Coppel's heart in the heat of battle. He tossed it in the lake Texcoco. Oh, that's weird. Texcoco. I was mentioning Texas. Where it landed on an island and turned into the first prickly pear cactus. Wow. Okay. So this sun god killed his older sister, and then her son, so his nephew, came for revenge, and he tore out his nephew's heart and tossed it into a lake, and it landed on an island and turned into the first prickly pear cactus. Wow. While looking for a place to call their capital, Huitzilopochtli ordered the Aztec people to look for Lake Texcoco. This location eventually became the spot where the Aztecs settled. The prickly pear now takes center stage on the Mexican flag, indicating how vital the cactus's fruit is for the culture as a whole. Prickly pear, or nopales, is, as it's called in Spanish, are widespread in Mexico, where they are used in drinks, food, cosmetics, and medicine. It's especially great as a quick fix for a bad hangover. In Mexico, prickly pears are a symbol to stay strong, especially when struggling at the hands of adversity. They serve as a constant reminder of hope and endurance. So if you've picked this card, you can rest assured that even during tough times, the universe is looking out for you. Of course, things might get worse before they get better, but that doesn't mean they'll always remain the way they are. Take this as a reminder that the best thing for you right now is to focus on living life one day at a time. Enjoy the little things and always search for the good around you, even if it's only visible in small things. Acceptance is the first step towards endurance. You've made it out of multiple messes, each time stronger and braver than the last. Treat this experience as a learning one and extract whatever lessons life is throwing your way. They'll serve as important tools for you in the future. Getting in touch with your spiritual side to heal your mind and body through meditation and yoga can help you bear the burden of the present. A few minutes of mindful breathing can do wonders for your body, and the mindfulness you'll gain will help you put things into better perspective. Damn. So far, like, group number one's reading from this book resonated with group number two. And then now your reading is, no, wait. Group number two's resonating with group number one, and now yours is resonating with group number two. So I just find that super interesting. All these readings are kind of linked. So if you felt called to any others, they're very linked to each other. I like it. But yeah, this is about endurance. This is about recognizing that even if life has been hard, it's temporary. This is a feeling of being viscerally aware of the temporary nature of reality. And in doing so, that helps you cope with anything extreme you may be going through. There's a message here that you always have access to peace, even in hard times. There's a way to regulate your nervous system, ground yourself, and find a moment of peace. And there's almost a particularly ripe time to find a sense of stillness and peace in hard times, because in those times you're more in a place of humility, you're more in a place of surrender, a willingness to surrender. And a lot of times it takes that to find a sense of gratitude and peace. If you can find gratitude and peace in the hardest of times, then of course you can find gratitude and peace in the best of times. So activating that within you and connecting to that part of you that can just surrender and trust and find that internal stillness is going to be like priceless for you moving forward in your life. So if you're going through a hard time right now or an intense time right now, just know that there's peace in the middle of it. Like in the eye of the storm, there is peace. You can sit in that peace and kind of just observe the things being chaotic around you, but it doesn't have to sweep you up in the mess. There's a surrender. Yeah, again, there's a surrender energy here, a humility, a trust, a knowing that this is temporary, that kind of thing. So far, that's what I'm feeling, but I'm going to pull some more cards, a couple cards from the Sacred Destiny. There's an opportunity, there's an open door to peace and healing right now. And clarity. Okay, so we have diligence. Okay, there's a feeling of, I'm getting like Nine of Wands vibes, like resilience, one last push. Like this is temporary, even if it's felt like it's gone on forever. This is temporary. You can find peace right here, right now, but it's almost like a gathering of energy reserves and having one last kind of push into the next phase. And once you're in that next phase, you're on higher ground and the weight of the past is no longer holding you down. So while I'm recording this reading, we are in an eclipse season and I'm feeling it particularly intensely this season. It's March of 2025 right now. There was a full moon eclipse that was completely visible to where I'm at right now in Illinois like less than a week ago. And then there's a partial solar eclipse that I think might be partially visible where I'm at. I'm not sure. I know it's visible in North America at least, but there is a partial solar eclipse coming in like a week and a half as well. So there's this particular energy of shedding and releasing going on right now, resilience and like the end of a cycle kind of energy, it feels like. So I think that's present here in your reading right now, like a shedding, an end of a cycle, a one last push kind of thing. So if you've been feeling like you want to give up, or you've been feeling like unsteady, or like, will this ever end, or something like that, then this is your reading and there is a message that yes, it will end. You're at the very tail end. In fact, you're in the eye of like the final storm of it all. And there, yeah, again, there's a message of there's peace even here. But if you can just muster up like with this, like this heart, this like lion heart energy wants to come through, like muster up one last push and that one last bit of strength to get you through this one last little shift, you will not regret it. So just being present with the intensity of it and recognizing that it's temporary and just walking through it willingly is going to help you out a lot right now. Your next card is, I love that, miracles. Miracles and trusting in miracles, trusting that something amazing can come from something intense or something scary or something very difficult, like a long treacherous road. There's a miracle in the mix. Like there's a reason, there's a miracle on the other side. There's like a rainbow and a message. It's reminding me of the Bible story, Noah's Ark, where God sends a rainbow to let them know that, you know, the worst is over and it will never happen again, kind of thing. So it's like the worst is over and soon all of it will be over. And whoa, that sounded scary. Like all of it will be over, not like death or anything, but like it felt like the worst is over, or the worst is about to be over. And from here on out, we're going to be like sailing on calmer seas. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Earth Magic. With the Diligence card, I'm thinking of the idea that we're not leaving any part of ourselves behind. And like we're having this beautiful, miraculous next phase of our life unfold, and we're walking towards that, and we're in the final kind of shift before that happens, and we're just not leaving any part of ourselves behind. We're doing all of our due diligence to make sure that we've wrapped up the cycle completely. Exactly. We have the full moon with completion. And lake with stillness. Exactly. I really do think you have a well of stillness deep within your soul that you have access to even in the toughest of times. And all you have to do is, like, say you're overwhelmed by what's going on in your life and you just have this feeling like you can't get away from it. Take a breather, go for a drive, go for a walk in nature, and just literally, if you just have an hour to yourself to sit and just sit in stillness, sit in, you know, listening to the sounds of the birds or the frogs or whatever it may be, the trees creaking, you know, just sit with the calmness and the stillness of nature and allow it to permeate your being, and just trust that the stillness exists within you and everything is and always will be okay. And know that you can just know that this is a part of who you are. It's a part of who God is. It's a part of nature, this stillness, this peace, and it will never go away, no matter how much it feels like it has. Just remember that it's always there for you. I'm going to pull some tarot now from the Muse Tarot. And just ask for help when you need it. And that doesn't even necessarily mean you need to ask humans for help. This could be ask spirit for help. If you really feel helpless, you feel like you're struggling a lot, or you feel like you just like need a hug or something, you know, you need something and you don't want to ask other people for it, you can ask spirit, and whatever it is you need will be fulfilled. Like that feeling, even like I said, if you need a hug, you can ask spirit for a hug and you'll get that feeling of being hugged, you know? So anything you need, you can ask for it and it will come, especially if it's a soul need and it's not like just some selfish desire. This is like, if it's a soul need, like something that makes you feel settled and okay, you know, that's absolutely going to come to you if you ask for it. So 3 of Pentacles reversed, Death reversed, 3 of Cups reversed, 10 of Swords reversed. We have a lot of reversals. We have the Queen of Cups. I think I'll leave it sideways here. Queen of Swords upright, and 6 of Pentacles upright. Okay, so there's a feeling of detaching from those around you. There's a feeling of detaching from your from the energies of people, basically, because we have the 3 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. Both do kind of represent the people around you, the people you're working with, and the people you socialize with. And then we have Death reversed in the middle. So there is this like shift in that reality, the people that you're being surrounded by. There's a feeling and a message to, yeah, like we need to take breaks continuously to detach and listen to our own voice. With the Queen of Swords, she is someone who knows who she is. She's aware, she is her voice. You know, she knows exactly who she is. She's very protective of herself. She's very like no nonsense. If there is a way that other people are influencing her that are toxic or negative or not serving her highest good, which whatever serves her highest good is what serves the highest good of others. There's this feeling of needing to honor that. Like we've got all of these reversals, and then we've got this Muse of Emotions or King of Emotions here. And that's that emotional, compassionate energy. And so there's a feeling of, okay, so like with all of these reversals and then this kind of sideways King of Cups here. And then the upright Queen of Swords with the Six of Pentacles, which is about balance and harmony and reciprocal energy. I'm seeing just a a feeling of I am no longer accepting the toxicity of others. I am no longer offering my compassion and my understanding in a place where I am not being given the same level of respect, the same level of honoring of someone and compassion for someone. I'm not receiving that back. So I am basically reviewing all of my relationships. I, as in you, I say this, I always like turn it into myself. But it's like, yes, you are viewing all of your relationships and you are acknowledging and looking at their effect on you as a whole and how they're like shaping you as a person and shaping your self-concept. And if there are any places where they're affecting you in a negative way, in a way that makes you feel shame, makes you feel unworthy, makes you feel, just makes you feel like shit, like makes you feel like you're taking on stuff that's not yours and it's not really your responsibility. Just anywhere where you're kind of like shoring up your defenses in a way, like you're shoring up the edges of your, I'm just thinking of like someone in their aura and they have like holes in their aura where they've been allowing other people to just kind of take from them or place negativity in those, like send negativity their way, even if it's not conscious or they don't mean to. There is this feeling of, we're not doing this anymore. I am not a punching bag. I am not, I have standards. I have a certain standard for the way I treat others, for the way I honor others' boundaries. And for some reason, I haven't been holding that standard to myself. I haven't been, including myself in the way I hold that standard. So, for instance, you could be suddenly waking up to a way someone's been treating you that you've just been allowing it to happen out of just pattern or habit or duty, like a sense of quote, like duty. And it's almost like all of a sudden I've awakened to like, why have I been allowing this for so long? And this is not okay. And putting a boundary in place and not allowing it anymore. Like we're just finally, there's a lot of like awakening energy here. Ten of Swords. Well, there's a feeling of, with this Ten of Swords being reversed, the Ten of Swords is about painful endings. And there's almost some resistance. And with it being next to this kind of like sideways King of Cups, there's some murky energy here that's been getting in the way of you kind of protecting your energy. I kind of like that. I just like the way this is laid out because with this, sorry about the train noise. I hope it's not too loud on the camera. But with this King of Cups, it's almost like the King of Cups is the shoring up. Like all of this energy wants to pour in. Like here's your soul over here. The Queen of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. That balanced, like self-sovereign, self-respect energy. And then the King of Cups is like kind of facing this way. And it's like providing this wall and this protection for this part of your soul. And there's a feeling of being able to use your compassion and your love in a healthy way. Like you can lovingly and compassionately set boundaries. You're not cutting someone off just to cut them off. You're not writing someone off. You are lovingly putting your boundaries in place and communicating that by doing this, this is what I have to do to keep this relationship. And then if they can't honor those boundaries, then that's a whole nother discussion later of like, if this person cannot honor these healthy boundaries I'm putting in place, these reasonable boundaries I'm putting in place, then that's when I'll start kind of negotiating with myself of like, is it worth it to keep this person in my life? But for now, there's more of a feeling of, I'm going to keep these people or this person in my life. I'm just going to have better boundaries with them, and hopefully they can respect that. And most of the time they will. It feels like most of these people can and will respect those boundaries. And if for whatever reason someone can't, again, that's something you'll cross that bridge when it comes. But you'll do what you have to do, even if it's painful. I'm going to pull some cards from the Floral Tarot and see what else comes through. It's just been long overdue to put these boundaries in place to protect yourself in this way. I don't know if there's been like a guilt factor, or just it's just like you've just done it this way for so long, where you've just put up with things and thought that it was normal, and you're finally like, wait a second. No, not normal. Not okay. Like, why on earth do I have such respect and such, like, I hold this standard for myself to respect other people in such a way, but I don't expect others to do that for me. Like, why? Yeah, there's like a whole awakening. Okay. We have the Lovers, which makes perfect sense. You are worthy of harmonious relationships, reciprocal relationships, balanced relationships. You are worthy of feeling easeful and light, protected, respected, loved, cherished, honored. You are worthy of ease in relationships. The Hermit. Six of Pentacles again. Oh, I love it when there's doubles, because it's just, you are worthy of reciprocity. I literally just heard, like, you're owed so much. That's what, I feel like whatever bank you've been putting your investments in, whatever investments can mean so many things. Like investments of like self-respect and self-love, investments of hope and faith in the future and what you deserve, investments, like literal investments. There's a feeling of investing in something for your future, just investments. It could be something you're building or working on, that paying off. Like you're owed, it feels like you're owed so much. Like it's time for you to receive, to be on the receiving end of love, of money, of happiness, of joy, of balance, of harmony, of healing. Like, yeah, like you've invested all of yourself into something, and it's just only natural that all of this abundance of all of those things I just mentioned just comes flooding into your life. Freedom. Page of Pentacles, yeah. Like a new financial beginning. I feel like there's a whole new way of being opening up for you that feels more grounded, that feels like it makes sense and feels more stable, feels manageable. And I think like the boundaries and the separation you're putting in place with your relationships, that the relationships that need that, and the release that's happening there is going to free up so much of your energy to start a new journey, to begin building something new for yourself that can be truly grounded in the physical world, that's more aligned with your authentic nature. With the Hermit here, you really are being called kind of into solitude, I think. Reacquainting yourself with yourself. Reacquainting yourself with who you truly are and what you truly want. Your own internal sense of wisdom and knowledge, and the light that guides you forward. You have to walk your path, and if anybody's been getting in the way of that, or guilting you, or putting anything on you that's not yours to carry, those times have ended. That will no longer be the case. You'll be walking, like I just see a simpler time, a clearer time, like you having less burden on you from the world around you, from the people around you, and you being able to walk towards and build something new for yourself, whatever that means to you. Like materials, page of coins is the material world. So it feels like something you're wanting to ground into the material world. I did have that mention earlier of, that home energy. So maybe some of you are moving into a new home or looking for a new place to call home, or just building a reality that feels more like like home to you, like feels more like a place where you're more welcome and like your soul can breathe. All right, I have one more card I'm going to pull from the Answer is Simple to top off this reading. And then we will move into, I just want to say this. Oh, interesting. Number 53 with Take No Offense. It was the one card in the deck that was like turned over. I'm going to keep it here, but I still want to pull another one. Take no offense. It's just making me think of these boundaries you're putting in place. And if people do take offense, it's like, just stay detached. Try not to get emotionally wrapped up in their reactions. Here's a card that flew out. Group number 3 got this. Clear the fog. I think I want one more. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Talk to God. I think you're being called into your own path. Take no offense, clear the fog, and talk to God. Like, you're being called forward into a unique path that is set out for you. And I don't think you can move forward on it until you fully detach yourself from other voices and other expectations. You have to get clear and spend more time alone and reorient yourself. Even if this is like a 6-month journey or even a year-long journey where you intentionally realign with your higher self and realign with God, the universe, whatever resonates with you, but realign with God, realign with like the truth of things and the purpose of things and what really matters to you. It's going to help you so much if you do this. So many of these little things, these day-to-day things that bother you are just not going to matter anymore. And you did have the Death card over here. When you reckon with the reality that we're only here temporarily and you see that and you exist in that reality and you don't deny it and you don't hide from it, something lights up within you to live more fully. So there's something there. There's something with facing mortality. There's something with talking to God and talking to I heard talking to those who've passed on, and just by doing that, you're going to awaken to something in you that means more to you than anything else. And that's steady and constant, never goes away. No matter how your body changes, no matter how you change in general, how life changes around you, how the world changes, how people change. That's something that's steady and constant. So I think that's going to bring, connecting to this higher power, connecting to your higher self is going to bring and your higher purpose is going to bring a sense of calmness and acceptance into your life that you didn't have before. And it's just going to help you feel more peaceful. So to bring it back to our original prompt here, which is you are abundance itself, what are you missing that you can give to yourself? Connection to yourself. There's a feeling of needing to feel more kind of like okay with who you are and where you're at. I know that sounds kind of big, but like finding a home within your own being. No matter where you're at, no matter what's happening around you, no matter what is out of your control, you always find a home in yourself. And how you can give that to yourself is to detach from external influences and just listen to your own voice and trust in your own voice and walk towards whatever that voice is calling you to walk towards. Period. So spend that time alone in nature, whatever you got to do. Put those healthy boundaries in place and be unapologetic about it. And don't take any offense when someone else takes offense, and just be like, this is it. And they'll come around or they won't. But one way or another, you're kind of cutting away what's holding you down, holding you back, or what's inauthentic to who you are, what's making you feel like you're not living authentically to who you are. So, alrighty, so this is it. This is your message group number 3. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to support my channel, I would love it if you'd like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. I have a Patreon where I offer 2 in-depth pick a flower readings every month, along with an infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing if you're interested in that. I have another YouTube channel called Soul Harken. I've got really cute merchandise. Sometimes I offer personal readings. There's a link down below for that. What else am I missing? I have infinite prayer sessions, which are guided visualization and Reiki blessings, similar to what I do in my Patreon. You can check those out if you feel called to those. Otherwise, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored by your presence, and I hope I see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So for today's reading, my prompt is, you are abundance itself. What are you missing in life that you can give to yourself? And so the idea here is that whatever it is that your soul desires, you can satiate it within your own being first and foremost. So not that I do believe that we can create whatever we want in the material, but it all starts in the soul. It all starts in the heart. It all starts in our own essence and in our own being. And so if we can satiate our desires and our needs first and foremost within ourselves, then the physical world has no choice but to line up and reflect that back to us. So the messages that come through today are going to be oriented around that premise and that idea. So here we are. You chose group number 4 with the wilting red tea rose, and I'm going to put her right up here. And I chose an overarching theme card from the A Little Rain Oracle that I'm going to read the entire excerpt from the book for. And you got, ooh, whoa, this is gorgeous. I don't think I've seen this one yet. You got peony. All right. So actually, I don't know what peonies represent. I never use peony. I don't think I've ever used a peony in my readings. But I know they're very big, I believe. They're sometimes top heavy. I think I've seen peonies growing in people's yards where, like, towards the end of their life, they're all like hunched over and like hanging down. So it's kind of like that's making me think of surrender and humility in a way, like not getting a big head about something. So that's interesting. Let's just see what the book has to say about the peony. Okay, so I'll put this right here. If you want to screenshot it, it will be available. But we've got rebelliousness, resilience, and fortitude. Once upon a time, it was said that the empress of the Tang dynasty, Wu Zetian, disappointed at her barren garden during winter, commanded the flower fairies to make the plants bloom even in the cold. All the flowers were forced to obey her orders and bloomed in the harsh winter cold, all except for the peonies, which refused to flower on command. The empress was enraged by the unyielding flower and set them ablaze in retaliation. Any flower that did not perish in the fire was banished from her garden to the city of Luoyang, where she decreed that it suffer an even harsher and unforgiving winter. But when the spring season came about, the peonies that survived bloomed in their brightest and most vibrant hues, flourishing in Luoyang. Even now, Luoyang is still known as the city of peonies. This unshakable flower asks you to stay strong and true to your own beliefs in the face of great hardship. It can be easy to yield to others in the name of keeping peace, but being compliant is not always the right thing to do. This card suggests that the user might have reached a crossroads in their life. Do you stand your ground at the risk of losing it all, or would you succumb to peer pressure? Conformity has its perks. It can be safe, simple, and spares us the stress of conflict. But as attractive as it is to just obey, Remember that sometimes you have to stand up for your beliefs. You've come a long way in order to achieve everything you have today. And now it's not the time to yield. It's time to take back control or push forward if you're facing opposition. Face your fears and prepare yourself for backlash. If it comes, you'll weather it. Now is not the time for quick fixes or easy outs. Commit to your path and stand firm when others want you to bend. You've built this bed. Don't be afraid to lie in it. Wow. So there's this feeling of like walking towards something and being resolute, like the rebellious energy coming through, and like wanting to succumb to peer pressure that what you're doing is wrong or won't work, or like because it is something that's going against the grain or going upstream from the mainstream, from what's happening all around you and what from most people do, which is succumb and obey to the ways of being that just are, like this is what is expected of you. You get a 9 to 5, or like just normal, like you go to school, like you do the whole thing, or just, that's at least what is expected in Western society, going to school, getting a 9 to 5 kind of thing. In other countries, of course, the expectations would be different. But it's just going against that societal expectation. There's a feeling here of don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on what you know to be true. If you've been on a long, hard journey where you've been going against the grain, I'm getting, again, this is so similar to group 3. I keep having this feeling of literally the words in this message here would have fully resonated with group 3. And then I had like group 2's message would have resonated with group 1 and group 3's with group 2. Like it was really weird. But yeah, like there's a feeling of a 9 of Wands, resilience, push through, one last push, like stay true to who you are and where you're going. Back yourself, even if people don't agree, and like reorient yourself with why you started in the first place and keep going. Like that's the vibe right now. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Sacred Destiny and see what else comes through. And earlier I did mention humility and surrender with the peony. And there's a feeling of surrendering to your higher self, surrendering to the truth within you, and having humility in a way that helps you move forward with your dreams and your vision. And even if you're getting backlash from the world around you, or even if you feel like ashamed or embarrassed for what you're walking towards because it doesn't look like what it's, quote, supposed to look like, there's just a feeling of having humility, keep walking the path, and soon the world will see what you see. I'm kind of hoping this reading resonates with me because I like that message for me. So I'm just going to claim this reading. So hopefully this resonates with you and me. Alrighty. Okay, so there was like too many cards that wanted to come through. Here we go. All right. Ooh, protection. All right, like your path is protected. I almost feel like whatever it is you're working towards is safe and protected. Like the vision you've been given and that you're walking towards is protected. Like nothing can stray you away from attaining this destined path. Taking risks. Yep. Like you're going in the right direction, even if it feels crazy right now. Like this tree here is like, there's like a storm and lightning. It's almost like, and then there's sunlight beaming from behind the tree. And it's almost like I have to walk through the storm to get to that other side, to get to that sunlight, to get to that vision I see. Like, and even the tree is kind of shadowing the vision. Like you can't see it. It's not in full fruition yet, but you know it and you feel it and you believe in it and you're walking towards it. And you may be the only person who sees it right now, but you can trust in your vision. With taking risks, even if you feel called to do something that makes absolutely no logical sense, but you know it's what you're called to do, where you're called to go, there's just this feeling of do what you have to do, even if it looks crazy to the people around you. Okay, I'm gonna pull some cards from the Earth Magic. Kind of, well, and I feel like the other card on top of that Sacred Destiny Oracle wants to come through, but I think I'm gonna pull it at the end. Okay, what Earth Magic cards want to come through for you? Group number 4. Group number 4, I didn't feel called to say this with the other groups, but number 4 represents security and stability. So you're secure on this path, even though it feels scary sometimes, or it feels like the earth is kind of shifting below you as you walk, or like there's such an invigorating feeling happening right now as I'm channeling this message. Like there's just this freeing feeling and this uplifted feeling and joy and success and victory energy that it's so close you can like feel it, like you can almost touch it. That's the feeling. Ooh, we've got fire with passion. I think that makes sense. The energy is really good. And then Green Man with synergy. Okay, something beautiful is about to manifest for you. Oh, and then on the bottom of the deck over here, it's off to the side. You can't see it, but I'm going to leave her here just so, for myself kind of, you know what? No, I'm going to pull that one card and Gateway. Now that I have 2 here, I felt like I'm pulling it. So I did pull the Sacred Destiny now, and it was the Gateway card, which you have a whole door opening up in your life right now. With Green Man and synergy, all the elements are coming together to manifest something really beautiful in your life. As far as the ceremony and invocation energy goes, there's a call to continue to anchor it in through ceremonies. So if you do any rituals, like manifestation rituals through meditation, if you do any like releasing or burning rituals where you write things down and burn it, or put intentions on an altar, whatever it is that you do that's ritualistic that you feel aligns you with your calling and your path, that's it. That's what you're being called to do. Somehow, Winnie's saying hi, by the way, she's here. But somehow, in some way, it does feel like a grounded way to kind of anchor in. Sorry, Winnie's like really kind of distracting me here. She's saying hi, but just, yeah, some grounded way to using some material like element to like water, earth, air, fire to anchor in your manifestations and where you're going and the path you're walking. That's really coming through right now. Oh, well, I'm going to pull some tarot, even though Winnie's here. I'm just going to make it work somehow. She's just going to be covering up your reading for a little while, but she'll leave after a while. She doesn't typically stay too long, so we'll see how long she ends up staying. All right, what else wants to come through for group number 4 who are about to embark upon an awesome fruition of, I just feel like your dreams are coming true. Like you're about to see the fruition of like long held dreams and like dreams you've worked for, dreams you've put energy and intention into over time. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. After a while, I'll move her, but for now, I'm just going to try and read the cards while she's here. So, okay, so we have the Knight of Swords, the 8 of Cups, the 5 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so the first thing we've got cards all over the place here. This is just funny. So the first thing that came through was with the 5 of Pentacles card. And there, I was like imagining this void that has no, like it has to be filled with something. And what it's going to be filled with is massive abundance. Like dreams come true, feelings of like like as I'm channeling this, I feel amazing. Like my body feels really good. My heart, my soul, like my being, my energy feels really like supported, satiated, like flooded with good energy. I feel like I think abundance is coming. Literal money is the vibe. Like it's like provision. Like I have everything I need. I don't have to worry about my needs being met ever again. It's like, it really does feel like we've hit like this new plateau of abundance and freedom that is ever sustaining and sustainable, and it will never go away. And there's a deep knowing in your soul and in your body that that is truth, that it will never go away. It feels like we're walking away from internal conflict around that. We're like, there's a feeling of finally witnessing and realizing, both in spirit and in soul, well, and in body, the nature of abundance and the reality of abundance, and being aligned with that, and knowing that we'll never fall back below this new plateau we've hit. So there's a feeling of walking away from conflict with the material world. Like if there's ever been any conflict between soul and body, or soul and earth, in a way where you felt, abundance in your soul, and you felt that in limitless potential and abundance that's available in spirit, but there was like conflict with how you can harmonize that with the earth and the tangible and the material world. There's a feeling of that no longer being separate, and those two things being one, and it feels like integrated within the body. So it almost feels like, through when we were talking about the invocation and the material, like earth, fire, water, I'm almost thinking of more like using your body as invocation, like using breath work, meditating, exercise, like things that you do that literally, like you're literally using your physical body. That's going to be the best way you can manifest this abundance, and you can harmonize that earth element and the ether, spirit and body. You can harmonize spirit and earth and everything, like get yourself to a place where everything feels like everything in your body and in your spirit feels perfect and feels harmonized and feels like it makes sense. Like you get it. It's like, oh, I finally get it. I finally get what I've been trying to integrate this whole time. If you're on an abundance journey or a manifestation journey, okay, she's finally gone. Let me get this organized here. We need one more card. Okay. Sorry if that bothered you with the chaotic element of all of these cards being everywhere and Winnie like rolling around through the cards. But we're better now. We are all here now. But yeah, like bringing things down to earth in a way, like just feeling like your relationship to the material world and the abundance of the material world is natural and effortless, and it makes sense, and you don't have to struggle anymore. Like there's no struggle, there's no worry. It's just, yes, I get it now. Okay, this makes sense. It's grounded. It's rooted in my being. I'm trusting in this. I never have to worry again. This will always be my state of being from here on out. And I can play within this, and I can trust myself within this to help continue to manifest whatever. And it's not even like a feeling of, I want to manifest more abundance. It's more of a feeling of whatever it is I feel called to do on this earth. I know that the resources, I have the ability to manifest the resources to make that happen, or to help manifest the resources with other people, with a community, to make something happen. I know that if a vision is placed on my heart, no longer is a disconnect from the material reality going to stop me. Like I will always know that those resources will be available from here on out forever. So that's the feeling. There's a peace there. There's a sense, like with this Four of Swords, a sense of resting and resting in this truth, and never again. It just feels like a feeling of a burden's been lifted off my shoulders. Like that's like my body, as I'm channeling this message, feels so much better and lighter and freer. So that is where you're walking. We're releasing conflict. We're letting go. We're walking away from conflict. It's no longer serving us. Internal conflict. The truth is easily accessible, constantly easily accessible to us. The truth about our body and our being and abundance itself. from this new place, I'm definitely curious what's going on over here, because we have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords upright. So the Ace of Swords and Page of Swords are somewhat similar energies. The Page of Swords is about new ideas, new ways of thinking outside the box. The Ace of Swords is about epiphanies, and I'm curious why it's reversed. I think there's a playfulness coming through. With this Page of Swords in particular, there are 4 women just like dancing around in her mind. Like this woman's kind of like, she's got her glasses on and she's just like thinking of new ideas in how she's going to move forward or how she's going to create what she wants to create. And instead of like thinking hard or feeling burdened about like getting insight, it's like, I'm just going to like have fun and dance and be free. And I'll know that at the right time, the inspiration I need and the insight I need is going to come to me. There's a feeling of just playfulness, lightness. There's a feeling of inspiration coming in ways that you don't expect. New ways of relating to the muse and such. This is the Muse Tarot, so I think that's kind of cool. But like new ways of being creative that you have never really experienced before, that are still in essence a part of your soul. So like parts of you are coming online that you never even realized that like were a part of you, or maybe you realize them to a certain level but not to the depth that they actually exist and that they can actually serve you moving forward. And I think this has a lot to do with creativity and your intellectual abilities. We're taking on a beginner mindset more so. I think taking on like surrendering, letting go, and taking on a beginner mindset of what you're doing, and just taking on a fresh attitude in general. And I want to say about the work you're doing. So this could mean a lot of things. It could literally be the work you do in the world, where you work, whatever it is you're passionate about, that you want to create on this earth, how you want to change the world around you. It could be art, it could be music, it could be writing, like it could be just anything. There's a beginner mentality coming through and having fun in that, like seeing something as exploratory and fun and light, and that like that burden of like, whereas maybe before when you would try something new and it'd be difficult and it'd feel burdensome and you'd beat yourself up for not being able to do it, even though, come on, you're a beginner. Like, of course, you're going to suck at things at first. There's more of a feeling of like, I know I suck at this, but that's cool. That's part of the fun. Like, you've just shifted your attitude in such a positive way. There's such a lightness to where you're headed. I kind of want to rein us in here. My prompt is, you are abundance itself. What are you missing that you can give to yourself? So I want to make sure I'm true to that question, because it feels like I'm just giving you a lot of confirmation right now that you are harmonizing that sense of connectedness to the material and this like spirit and material. That's ultimately what's coming through. And the manifestation of abundance, but that's so vague to me. Like saying like the manifestation of abundance is just like such a buzzword that it almost is like beaten to death a little bit. And this is just a feeling of aliveness. This is a feeling of like, I just don't worry about my needs being met. They're always met. I know they're always met. I'm connected to my vocation. I'm connected to my creativity. I'm connected to what I'm passionate about, and I'm following that. I'm able to take rest and breathe when I need to breathe. I'm able to be present when I need to be present. I'm able to have fun and be creative and work when I want to work. And my life, I'm more free. I'm existing in more freedom. And when I feel called to create something or manifest something, I do not worry or wonder if the material resources will be there. I just know they will, because I am called, because the vision was literally planted into my heart by the divine, and it's coming from a good place. So I know that everything will work out the way it's meant to work out, and I'm just going to enjoy my life and enjoy the ride. That is the feeling you're walking towards. So there's really nothing. I almost want to tell you, you're on the right track. Keep going with what you're doing and follow your passion more than anything. Follow what lights you up. Follow what is fun for you. Follow what excites you. Follow what makes you feel light. And that's what you can do to manifest your dreams. And know that you don't have to worry about your needs being met. I'm literally telling you not to worry about your needs being met, because they will always be met. Whatever you're called to do, your needs will be met. All right, I'm going to pull some cards from the Floral Tarot and see what else comes through. I feel like the energy that we started with was this, like, the gateway energy. It's like we're one last push, like that rebellious, I'm going to go my own way. And this energy that I was just describing is where you'll end up if you just keep going and believe in yourself, believe in your vision, despite what anybody says or what energies are being projected at you. Four of Wands, happy home, celebrations, the Emperor, harnessing your power, harnessing your creative force and your sense of, it feels like a leadership over your own life, like a agency over your own life. The Hierophant. Did I mention the Hierophant in this reading? I'm not sure. I think I mentioned it in the last reading. But the Hierophant to me is a surrender to a deep wisdom inside of you. I kind of feel like before, like the energy you're in before, or maybe you're in that now and like you're breaking out of that. But it's almost like the Hierophant has a lot of there are always like keys in the Hierophant cards. And it almost feels like there's this, like you've been holding yourself out, like deeming yourself unworthy or holding yourself back from the abundance that truly is yours. And it's like you finally recognize that you've been the doorkeeper the whole time. Like you've had the keys in your hand the whole time to unlock the door for yourself. And you will always be the doorkeeper. And you're just finally not holding yourself back from anymore. You're not like leaving yourself out. Like you're allowing yourself to be a part of the joy and the celebration and the abundance and the freedom. And you're recognizing that you get to have that too. And that you've been the only one holding yourself back, even though maybe it felt like forces outside of you were holding yourself back before, but you're recognizing that that's not true. Page of Wands. And Four of Swords again. Okay. Rest. There's such a strong feeling of rest. Then we have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom here. There is a strong feeling of this path being a restful one and being an easeful one and harmonious. And it, like, you realizing it gets to be this way all the time. And it's always been your choice to open that door for yourself and to release what doesn't serve and to walk away from what doesn't serve. And Winnie's she hasn't been here in any of the readings before, but she really wanted to make her presence known with you. And she is the epitome of the present moment. She's the epitome of living a life in a fun way, of just instinct and joy and freedom and rebellion. She is very rebellious. She does not do what she does not want to do. She does things her own way. She has fun. She's constantly at play. And she rests whenever she wants. She sleeps when she wants. She plays when she wants. You're kind of being called to take on like the energy of a playful house cat or a kitten even. Yeah, like following play and instinct and fun and freedom, and all the while feeling and knowing that you're being responsible with what you're doing, and you're taking great care in what you're doing, and you're recognizing the power you hold and the legacy you want to leave and how much good you want to put in the world, and realizing that just because you have a a huge purpose in this life doesn't mean you can't enjoy your life and live lightly and live freely and unburdened. So yeah, I'm going to pull one last card for an overarching theme, and then that will be that. All right, so you got number 24 with create, and then we have this woman here doing, she's like shaping bushes out in her lawn into like swans or ducks. So yeah, you're just meant to create. You're meant to be creative, to have fun, to be expressive, to live life through inspiration and instinct. You're meant to free yourself from norms, societal norms, and just be yourself and be fully in your body, in your highest expression of your weirdness. And because of that, you're going to create, like, make such great impact and powerful impact on the world and bring such joy and light and levity and love into the world. So, yeah, I think this is it. This is your reading group number 4. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored by your presence. If you'd like to support my channel, I'd love it if you'd like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. You can check out my Patreon, where I offer 2 in-depth pick a flower readings every month, along with 1 infinite prayer guided visualization and Reiki blessing. I often have personal readings available if you want to check and see if any of those are up. I have merchandise that's adorable if you want to check that out. I have another YouTube channel called Soul Harken. It's my heart and soul in video form if you're interested in checking that out. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope I see you in another reading. Bye.